What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, UnclefOOlio, and I'm back with another episode of the Kontroversy, ladies and gentlemen. As always, these episodes are sponsored by Nothing But Knicks. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification bell to be notified of any new content, whether it be pregame coverage, postgame coverage, shoot-around videos, Queens Court videos, obviously the controversy, ladies and gentlemen, as we break it down and we continue to go throughout this season. The Knicks are currently one game under 500, and they're slated to face Boston tonight in the second half of a home and home. So we're excited for that. On today's show, I have my man HardWill from the For the Love of the Game podcast. Make sure you go check them out. I have a link in the description of this video. Make sure you check my guys out. He's co-host of this show along with Worldwide L, Project Nerd HQ. Salutes those guys. And I'm happy to have my man HardWill on with me to discuss this RJ Barrett topic, something that's been going around the community for a very, very long time. And we're here to debate and discuss that issue. So with all that being said, I'm introducing the one, the only HardWill. What's going on with you, my brother? How you doing? How you doing? You muted, bro.
What's good with you, bro? Great to be here, man.
I'm happy to have you on, bro. I know we've been talking
man.
about this for a minute. We've been talking about this for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what? Let me get my man HardWill in here. I think it's the right time. I know he's a big fan of the kids and RJ and everything like that. We've been going back and forth about it. So I'm happy to have you on, bro. I'm ready to, you're welcome to the dungeon. You know what I mean? Ready to get slaughtered or what?
Listen, you got yours, I got mine. We're going to see how we come out. I know mine's is always really more on, you're going to see, like I told you, on my points of building better. But go ahead. Let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it, man. So obviously this topic today, we're going to talk about RJ Barrett. I have 3 questions that we're going to break down, discuss, debate. But obviously we're going to talk about the most recent thing that's been circulating. Obviously his game-winning shot, right? So, how big was RJ Barrett's game-winning shot? Didn't have the best of games against Boston, right? Was shooting, I think, 4 for 13 from the field and was having a terrible shooting night. Defensively, he was terrible. Jason Tatum was lighting him up going into that point. And, RJ got the call at the last play of the game. And the game was tied at 1:05. And then all of a sudden, RJ Barrett knocked it down. So what are your thoughts about the game-winning shot and just the game overall? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it was a great comeback. If he don't make the shot, then we having a different conversation. And that's more or less what my problem is, because me personally, even before he made the shot, I seen positives from him in the game. And I feel like a lot of people who have their own perception on him, they don't look for those things. Like the part of a third-year player showing that much heart, getting his shot blocked consistently. But the key point is, why did he get his shot blocked? Because it looked more like he had to force his shot to me in those situations. Not to get right, but that's really just this topic we going on. So I know it goes right to his shot blocks because we talking about that shot. So it leaded to that shot. You know what I mean? But like I said, when you watch that game, he was in the corner at the beginning, right? So I feel like if you run things for him, you don't remember at the beginning of the game, he was in the corner more and he was kind of forcing his shot off the left wing or just keep trying to force a bucket. RJ's not good when he's forcing his shots. He's more better when he's comfortable running something, or if he gets to the line or he makes a shot and then he gets more into his offensive game. But the shot to me just helps silence a lot of the critics to believe in him more, because the ball guards, I like to say, granted him that, and he deserves it because of he doesn't deserve to be critiqued the way he does so soon in his career, averaging 17 points as his second year in the league. You know what I mean? It's like, you see a little bit of talent and then you want to just snap your finger and see everything because you see some. But some people don't see any. So that's the part I don't understand when it comes to a player that's been good all his life. He always had the ball in his hands, not the point guard, but he's been in a lot of situations in college. Zion went down, he took over. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that people don't take into consideration when it comes to his case. And I know you're one of them because I call you critical. And I want to say another thing that really I wanted to come and talk to you because I seen you on Nothing But Knicks the next day because I always watch you. And the first thing you said was, I had so much to say about RJ and he made the shot and I had to fall back. Yo, it had me like, I can't wait to go talk to UnclefOOlio about this because this is crazy how he's treating his young pups. But when we talk about the dogs, the big dogs like Julius Randle, who've been in the league for so long, oh, we shouldn't be doing this and we shouldn't be saying that. But we so critical on a pup. No, not you specifically, but I'm saying people. This is my whole point on how we're too critical on a player that's given us more than we're even knowing, that other people aren't even knowing at his stage in his career. Granted, he needs to improve. Don't get me wrong. But another good point I want to make to you is this, right? Isn't it harder to improve? Right? We're going to get to the draft class because I'm going to make this point more in the draft class. Like I was going to bring up the Morant comparison where it's hard to improve when you don't have the ball in your hands. And when I be saying play the kids, I don't be saying like, I mean by play the kids, Foolio, because you always get at me about this. I mean, give him the ball more to let him run through the offense, run through him so he can learn how to make his mistakes and improve. So down the line, seasons to come, if he's going to be here, he'll be better. That's my, not play the kids, run the offense through RJ that way more. That's my point. So don't misconstrue my play the kids. Now, to answer your main question again, the shot did help. And I think a shot like that can help a player like RJ, right, in this position, help him go in a direction we all hope he goes as Knicks fans. Because if we lose the game, his head can be down. That's coming from a good game to having that bad game. But the other point I made, when I brought up Morant, if you don't put me in position to do this on a regular, then how can you just blame me if my game doesn't be maximized to my talent, leaving me in the corner a lot, bringing Evan Fournier in here? I'm going to get to that because it's a lot more we got to go on, but this is all connected to that shot to me. Okay. Because, that's some of my points, but you could move on how you like.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, that was a lot. That was a lot that you brought up, right? But first of all, I thought it was a great shot. Obviously, it was lucky. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that it was lucky. Sim actually made a joke that if RJ Barrett was shooting better from the field, that the ball probably would have hit the front of the rim or something like that. He probably wouldn't have banked it, but he was so off throughout the game that's the reason why it kind of banked in, right? So let's say that. Regardless, great shot, right? Really, really big time shot. The Knicks were down 25 in the game, right, in the first half, primarily due to lack of defense and Julius Randle and RJ Barrett not really shooting that well from the field, right? RJ Barrett, when I say RJ Barrett had a terrible game, he had an absolute awful game up until the final 4 minutes of the game or what have you, where he got the assist to Mitchell Robinson. He got the assist to Emmanuel quickly, right? And he obviously hit the game with a shot. But up until that point, he was playing terrible. And I don't just mean shooting percentages, defensively, terrible. Jason Tatum, cooking them every single time up and down the floor. Cooking them. He wasn't?
No, because Tatum wasn't. If you watch the game, even the commentator said that's his first bucket. Remember, the beginning of the game, Brown was on hot. Second half, Tatum took off. He did a great job on Tatum the first half. Tatum had his first bucket in the second quarter around towards the end or the middle, and that's a fact. So you can't say that. And that's an all-star. This is his first year having to go out all-star. So to my point again, you are critiquing. You could say he got lit up, whatever, but then he came back and made the shot on him, and he got fouled.
I was just about to say,
and he got fouled.
Hold on.
I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. I just wanted to interject because I didn't agree with the point that you made. That was because you said he got lit up. He didn't in the first half. Not in the first half. Second half,
RJ Barrett was complete. RJ Barrett was completely lost on defense during the game. Completely lost. There was times where he just was looking. He didn't know where to go. The help the defense. He was constantly getting screened, fighting around screens. He wasn't fighting around screens as hard as in my opinion, as he could have. He was getting lit up on defense. Okay,
second half he was.
Okay, fine. Second half he was fine, but he was having regardless, he was having a terrible game. You can try to minimize it all you want. RJ Barrett was having a terrible game, not just offensively, but defensively. He wasn't making those same plays that we're accustomed to him making. He wasn't doing any of that. So, that's just the big thing for me about RJ Barrett. But Tibbs somehow, for some reason, stuck with him in the game. And I think that's an important part, right? People want to say that Tom Thibodeau holds RJ Barrett back or Julius Randle holds RJ Barrett back. I don't think that's the case. I thought Thibodeau stuck with RJ Barrett to finish that game, to close that game out, which I thought was very, very important. And he also called his number to make that shot. So I think that's very important in this whole thing as well. Okay? The other thing that I want to talk about is RJ Barrett's aggressiveness. So you say that, you don't like the fact that RJ Barrett was forcing it, right? I agree with that. I don't like the fact that he was forcing it, but I just like the mentality that he had. He was aggressive. Typically throughout the entire season, right, and last season included, right, RJ Barrett has not shown me that aggressiveness to get to the rim as much as I feel like he should. Because I think that's where he's going to earn his money. That's where he's going to earn his living. Inside that painted area, get into the lane, using his strength to go up, right? But when he got to the rim, obviously Robert Williams was blocking the shot. There was some shots he just threw up that to me was not strong enough, right? I feel like RJ Barrett didn't make a concerted effort to get to the line enough, right? Now, the positive thing out of that is the fact that RJ Barrett's aggressive, right? But there's still that other part that he needs to work on as far as going up stronger, getting to the line, forcing fouls. And that's the part where I feel like he took a step back this entire season, right? Up until the last 3 or 4 games, or 3 games or whatever, when Randall was out or what have you, RJ Barrett started to step up, be a little bit more aggressive. So I like that part of it. It's just that when he gets to the rim, he needs to be a little bit more crafty, figure out a way to get his shot off. And I feel like, he can do that. Nothing tells me that anything the Knicks have done over the past few years has prevented RJ Barrett from doing that. I don't think that RJ Barrett has had the ball less or more or what have you that prevented him from doing that. He could be doing those things to this day at the same amount of time with the amount of times he gets the ball now compared to when he got it in the first couple of years. He could have been doing that the whole entire time. So nothing's stopping RJ Barrett from doing that. Let's just get that out the way right now. So I'll let you retort to that.
I mean, you said he was having a horrible game, and that's why I feel, you critique him critically. Like you go hard to say, like you don't find the good things that he do as well. Like for instance, you didn't mention he got a steal, fast break, dropped it to Mitch. Oh no, Taj, dunk. He did a lot of things in that game. When he ran the pick and roll in crunch time with Mitch, bucket. It's just a lot of things you have to look at, even when we win, how we win, not just talking about the shot. Every basket and every play.
Wait a minute. I said up until the last 4 to 5 minutes of the game, RJ Barrett was playing terrible. Up until that point. And that little last 4 minutes of the game, he got the alley-oop to Mitchell Robinson. He got a couple of assists. He got the one to quickly. He got the alley-oop to Mitchell Robinson. Drawing some fouls, got to the free throw line. He missed one.
He hit Fournier with the pass when he drew the defense.
All of this stuff.
No, so you know what my point is for saying that?
Yeah.
Having the ball through him, this is what can happen. When he was turning it over early, it was him forcing his shot. It was no offense run. He wasn't at the top of the key when he was getting them shots. I'm not saying every play, but he was forcing his shot. If they would have ran something, all right, for instance, if you could put Burks at the point, you might as well put RJ at the point. Let me just say why. Him with the ball in his hands gets him involved more. Yo, bro, Burks ain't playing good at the point, if you ask me.
I think Burks is I think Burks is terrible at the point guard.
So this is my point, bro. This is my point in development and things we can do that's better for us. Like if we feel like RJ's out the pick and we develop him the right way, right? If you know he is better, if you have the, get him involved with the ball in his hand somehow, he goes to the line and make a free throw or make a play for another player. Next thing you know, RJ Barrett is balling. And if you don't notice that, then that's part of the problem that we hear. They leave him sitting over there and he's not getting involved. He's not the type of player that ever played like that in his career. That's not true. You don't watch the last game when he was off to the corner again after he had a great game. I got another point for you. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, you could go. I go back and forth. It don't matter.
No, that's fine. But people will say that, they just park RJ Barrett in the corner like that's all he does. That's not all they do. The Knicks give RJ Barrett the ball. He has opportunities to get in his bag, but he doesn't even have a bag. That's the problem. He doesn't have a bag. You're not running an offense through RJ Barrett because he doesn't have what's his go-to move?
And I'm glad you said that he don't have a bag. But will you allow him a chance to get a bag? Not just critique.
Give him a chance.
How many years? No. You're missing the point. Last year, all right, I got a perfect example for you. Last year, was you talking about RJ like this?
Yes.
The same way, averages 17 points, and he contributed how he contributed to that team.
RJ Barrett contributed the way he contributed because he started knocking down his shots. He became an off-the-ball player.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't say you give him credit, but then say because this is why you gave him credit. If he played good, he just played good. That's the same thing, bro. That was my point in asking you.
No. I never said he played bad last season, right? But
that's my point in asking you.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying about RJ Barrett last season was everyone was saying RJ Barrett has arrived because he started shooting better in the second half of the season, right? Mm-hmm. Which I thought was okay, fine. That's what he is. If he's that kind of player, then cool. right? And this season, they thought it was going to be the same thing. But what happened? The Knicks are still giving him the ball, the same amount they gave him last season, right? They're still putting the ball in his hands. The usage rate is pretty much the same at 24%, right? And it's been that way first, second, and third year in the NBA. So RJ Barrett's getting the opportunity to have the ball in his hands, to have plays run through him. What he does with the basketball, that's a different story. That's what I'm trying to say.
You critiquing it wrong. And why I asked you how you felt about him last year, because that was his second year in the NBA. You know what I mean? So it's like for him to do that his second year in the NBA, he's still young and he's still learning. You saying, oh, his bag and thing. How's he even gonna have a bag if you don't have the ball in his hand a lot? Like you bring Evan Fournier in here and move him to the three. That's another good point. How can you expect a player that averaged 17 in a second year to keep improving and you move me to the three and you bring Evan Fournier in here that don't have more goal than RJ? So you trying to tell me Fournier's better than RJ off the dribble with the ball in his hand?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. So RJ Barrett played some of the three last season. RJ Barrett played some three last season. It was just depending on the matchup. So don't act like moving him to the three is what messed him up.
Foolio, that's besides the point. I'm talking about where was he best at the two. They brought Fournier in here and moved him to the three. Fournier is not, you just admitted, Fournier is not better than him with the ball in his hands. So right there alone, you're not protecting your number 3 pick and your draft pick and developing him and building him up properly. And I said to you, why I say that is because developing is running a team. Like, good. I got a great example for you. I was going to mention that when we talked about the draft class. Ja Morant averaged the same thing around RJ did last season.
Hold on.
Right?
Let's get to that.
You want to cut me off? Hold on. All right, let me make my last point.
Okay.
Last point.
I was going to transition into
good example. All right, I'm going to let you. Last point on this. This is a great point. People praise him, but remember, he's a point guard and he has the ball in his hand, and he was even able to improve even more because of that. And the team runs through him more because they're building up the right way. Not saying we can't get wins with Julius, but if the ball is in his hand, he's just improving, being a player we're going to need him to be 2 to 3 seasons from now. You being too critical for him now, and our window is a second round. How far are we going? And I know we got to get to the next topic, but this is my point, and he should be doing this and learning this now, not just having them play through Julius as much. Julius can get his regardless. So grow RJ up and making him a better player with the ball in his hands, just like Ja Morant improved if they averaged around the same numbers last season. Why would you want your player that you draft at number 3 to digress? And that's the last point I wanted to make. Now you can move on.
Well, we're going to transition into the Ja Morant thing, and we're going to talk about that draft class. But let me just highlight the super chat real quick. Shout out to my man Ed Feingold with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. He says we all argue about RJ's ceiling, but do you think the issue is really how low his floor has been? Do you think the issue is really how low his floor has been? Meaning, RJ Barrett at his worst is not those same guys that we're about to talk about right now. At his worst, he's not that.
But you can't name nobody else in that whole draft besides Ja Morant and Zion been hurt all that time. And he overweight right now reporting. So until you name somebody else, you could just stop that too.
I would say Tyler Hero's having a better season than RJ Barrett right now.
Tyler Hero is playing with Jimmy Butler and Bam.
Oh, so it matters.
No. Let's call it spade for spade.
Oh, okay.
If Barrett was over there, just like if some players, certain players with different teams, they would play better because of what this team is going through, how this team is ran. This team is ran by stagnation of the ball. And if you're going to run it that way, give RJ the ball and let him make a play, draw the D and kick it to Randle or whoever's open. Can you agree that RJ makes the right play more than Julius Randle does?
Does he make the right play more than Julius Randle does?
Yeah, regardless if he scores or not, he does. He gets off if he'll feel good off making a play for his teammate. Not saying Julius Randle doesn't. Not saying Julius Randle doesn't. But RJ at that position would have a different morale. That's why Mitch set picks for him the way he does. And other things happen. I'm telling you, you can say no, you don't believe it, or you want.
But let's get to the next thing.
Go ahead, bro.
Because we're gonna get into the next thing, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that draft class. Okay, so
okay, cool.
Here we go. And next question is, how do you compare RJ Barrett to the other third-year players in the league? So we're talking, obviously, RJ Barrett drafted 3rd overall, right? Mm-hmm. 3rd overall pick in the 2019 draft. Number 1, Zion Williamson, obviously. Number 2, Ja Morant. So those are the only 2 stats that I have up here, the people that you want to compare him to. And the reason why I chose these 2 guys is because constantly, and it ain't just me, it ain't the people that have an expectation for RJ Barrett, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the RJ loyalists that say RJ Barrett is better than what he is. Look at these numbers. Look what RJ Barrett did last season, shooting the basketball and this, and that, blah, 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 blah. RJ Barrett is that dude, right? And then when you finally hold him to that standard, oh, he's only 21. Oh, this is only his third year in the NBA, right? So let me just bring up these numbers and let's just take it. Let's take it from there.
Can I reply to that though?
Wait, no, we're going to. I'm gonna give you.
See, you good at this.
I'm gonna give you your time to speak. Let me just get these numbers up on the screen.
All right, cool.
And then right after I get the numbers up, you got the floor, and then I retort to you. All right. So this is Zion Williams' numbers, right? Obviously, he's not playing this season, but first 2 seasons in the NBA, 25.7 points per game, shooting 60% from the field, about 33.5% from three on about less than a half a 3-pointer per game. 3.2 assists, 7 rebounds, turned the ball over 2.7 times per game, okay? So that's Zion Williamson through his first 2 seasons in the NBA. Obviously, this season he's been hurt, right? And he also, I think, made the All-Star team last year in his second year in the NBA. And then the number 2 pick from that draft is Ja Morant, right? Obviously, Memphis Grizzlies star point guard, averaging 19.6 points per game in his 3 seasons, shooting 46.9% from the field, around the same, 33.5% from three, on about 3.4 attempts per game, 7.2 assists per game, rebounding the ball at 4.3 rebounds per game, turning the ball over 3.2 times. RJ Barrett, 16 points per game, shooting 42.1% from the field, shooting a little bit better from 3-point range at 36% from three, and that's on 4.2 attempts per game, averaging around 2.5 assists, 2.7, rebounding the ball, 5.5 rebounds at 5.4, and turn the ball over at two turnovers per game. Now, based on those numbers from what you see, right, how do you rank RJ against those 2 guys? And then also mention some honorable mentions. You got Tyler Hero, you got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Cam Reddish, a lot of these guys that came out in the same draft class as RJ Barrett that are not, I would say, I think Tyler Hero is having a better season than RJ Barrett right now, but I think RJ Barrett overall is on a higher tier than the rest of those guys, right? But he's not quite at the Zion and Ja Morant level. So how would you assess RJ Barrett in his 3rd year in the NBA compared to some of the other 3rd-year players in the NBA? And then you got the floor.
Well, I don't think, even though people say because Zion and what he did and what he averaged, if he's not playing, to me, I think, and my biggest point is about development, NBA hours and NBA minutes, So if he's not playing, is he going to come back and be the Zion that he was? I'm not saying he won't because he was talented. But when I asked you, you couldn't really name nobody else in the draft, and we naming players who came right before the player that we talking about. And to me, that's pretty good. And then for some of the stuff I mentioned about his last season and the way he's being handled, that's why I think it's critical when you say, they bring up his age or they bring up this. They don't bring that up just to say that to you, Foolio. You have to take that into consideration, that you don't even judge Julius Randle the way you would judge RJ. And that's like having a dog who's an outside dog. Hold on, let me make my point. You said I was going. You see, I let you do it, and then you know what I'm saying? It's like you have an outside dog and an inside dog. You know what I mean? RJ is a pup. You know what I mean? You got to raise your dogs right, bro. And you have to keep it even kill. You got to keep it like when you judge, you got to judge it fairly. And I can't critique Randall the same way I'm gonna critique a guy who's been in the league for 3 years if he's showing me some signs of potential. His points from last season, when I ask you about that, you try to dance around and say, yeah, he did good, but see, and that's my whole point. When you saying somebody do good, you can't do that if you're not gonna do that for the person that you like. You see, that's where people come to agree to disagree at, because we got to keep this 100. Because look, Foolio, no, for real, me and you both are gonna be Knicks fans if both of them players ain't on the Knicks no more. We not like the younger kids to go where they go. You know what I mean? And follow players. So we have to stop doing that. It's like even Knicks fans are divided because you don't say the same about Randall, but you'll go crazy on RJ. And when I see you on MBK saying that, you and Sim, I was like, yo, did he just say he mad because he couldn't come shooting a 30-shot clip at RJ because he made the winner, the buzzer beater? I said, man, this is crazy. I can't wait to talk to my guy, UnclefOOlio, about this. And that was why I keep bringing that up, because, bro, get that out your head and help. Or you have a big voice, right? That's why somebody put early, be careful on, these type of videos after he hits a buzzer beat, even though I don't completely agree, because everybody that come on the show ain't gonna agree with Foolio. Some people gonna have points like me and say the stuff that other people see about RJ. So it's good to have two different points. That's why he brought the show like this, so he can say what he feel and somebody else can have a different point of view. So the people in the chat, the fans of this show and the network can agree to disagree. You know what I mean? But he's critical when it comes to judging RJ. If he can't name any other player in that draft besides Tyler Hero, I'm going to wait, y'all, until he could tell me another player that he would take over RJ.
Darius Garland.
But now you're going to say Darius Garland. This is his best season, and look at what they had to do to get him going. Sexton not playing. They got my man Afro Allen. Come on, bro. They got marketing at the 3. Come on, bro. I chew them points up, man. Come on, man. It's getting to crunch time. You got to come.
Is it my turn?
Time is running out. Yeah, you can take the mic. Come on, bro. You my nephew, man. You ain't my uncle. You my nephew. I
love it. Listen. All right, you can swing all over the place with the whole thing. So first and foremost, listen, RJ Barrett
all over the place.
They are, and they're very inconsistent, just like RJ Barrett. But this is what I will say about RJ compared to the other third-year players in the NBA. He ain't Zion and he ain't Ja, right? He ain't those two players, and it's a reason why he was picked third overall, behind those two guys, right? I never said RJ Barrett wasn't nice. I never said he wasn't nice. I never said RJ Barrett don't have potential. I never said that at all. What I did say is that I don't think RJ Barrett's going to be a superstar in this league. He don't have the superstar type of bag. Like, you play ball, right, and you coach ball. You know there's a difference. Like, when somebody walks on that floor and they play, you look at somebody, you say, okay, that dude got it. When you playing defense against somebody, right, and they got the ball in their hand, you know what's up, right? Like Kevin Durant said, like, you know who the hell I am. Like, I ain't got to say nothing to y'all, right? RJ Barrett ain't that dude. Nobody's looking at RJ Barrett in awe, like, oh my goodness, I'm so impressed by what this kid is doing. No one is saying that in the NBA. I don't think that, at least, right? And I don't think he gets that with that type of respect because he don't have that kind of bag. Let's just call it what it is. Those numbers that I showed, those are really, really good numbers, and I think there's potential that you can build with that, right? But the way some of the Knicks fan base talks about him as if he's better than what he is. Last season, because the Grizzlies weren't doing so good, everyone was saying RJ Barrett was better than Ja Morant. I was like, that is blasphemous. Completely blasphemous when a lot of Knicks fans were saying that.
Two different type of players.
Right, but again, I didn't bring up that comparison. A lot of the RJ Barrett fans brought up that comparison, right? Because they were drafted in the same year. The Knicks were doing well. RJ Barrett was a big part of that, right? So that's where that came from. So don't act like people act like all of a sudden that, Josh, you constantly bring up these points. No, I didn't bring that up. It's a lot of the RJ Barrett loyalists that will, like you said, will follow RJ Barrett if he gets traded, knock on wood, to somewhere else. They're going to follow him or whatever because they're loyal to that particular player. I'm loyal to the Knicks, okay? Point blank. And to go back on what you said in the first point about RJ Barrett not getting the ball, he has a 24% usage rate. 24%.
I knew the numbers was coming.
Hold on, 24% usage rate. He had 23.5 last season. The season before that, he was at 24%. He gets the ball. Let's not act like they throw RJ Barrett in the corner and he's just waiting there the whole entire game. No, when he does have the ball in his hands, what does he do with it? That's the problem. Before the last 3 or 4 games or whatever against the Pacers, against Oklahoma City, and I think Toronto was the other game, right? Before those games, when RJ Barrett had the ball in his hands, he wasn't really doing that much with it, bro. He really wasn't. His shot is inconsistent, right? He's not knocking down that shot, right? And I'm not knocking him for that because I understand people have off shooting nights. RJ Barrett is not a natural shooter. Neither is Julius Randle. Last season he shot great, but he's not a natural shooter, right? So I'm not knocking him for that. But when he got the ball in his hands, he was not attacking. He was also passing. He was also deferring to Julius Randle. And what I'm saying is, if you're that dude, if you're that guy, you ain't deferring to Julius Randle. That bag gonna come out. And I'm saying you know that because you play ball and you know there's a difference from a player like Ja Morant when he got the ball in his hands. You know what I'm saying? I get it who he played with and who he didn't play with. But when he got that ball in his hands, everybody know he's that dude. I don't see the same for RJ Barrett. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And I'm not, hold on. For me, it's not just about the numbers. It's not about the production. I've always said this. It's not about what RJ Barrett is doing. I don't need him to score 30. I don't need him to score 25, right? What I'm saying is I just need RJ Barrett to be a threat out there on the floor to say, okay, I'm going to get that guy the ball. He's going to go get me a bucket. RJ Barrett ain't that yet because he's very limited offensively. Yeah, he can get hot knocking some shots down, but at the rim, he's not a constant finisher. He doesn't attack the rim as consistent as I need him to do, right? And he can't really dribble that well. He's not that good of a dribbler. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about with RJ Barrett? I think he'll be a good player in the league, I think he'll be a really good player in the league. But let's stop and acting like RJ Barrett's better than what he is. He's not. He's really not. And I'll let you respond to that.
Okay. Well, when you said, well, HardWill, you over the place. We both all over the place because the Knicks are all over the place. But I don't think I was because I asked you, could you name another player for me? And you couldn't. Also, I asked you.
I did.
Who?
I said Darius Garland. I said Tyler Hero, DeAndre
Darius
Hunter.
Garland?
Darius
Come on,
Garland.
Bro.
Yes.
Come on, bro.
Darius Garland's going to be an all. He's taking a leap this year. He's taking a leap.
Yeah, this year. But did you feel like that last season?
No.
That's what I mean. You wishy-washy. That's what I mean. You respected RJ. Huh?
I did not feel like.
And that's my point. That's my point, bro. You can't just change it. Like, bro, for instance, when RJ, and I asked you earlier how you felt about RJ's last season. And you said, oh, you didn't really want to give him credit, but you said he played good. He averaged 17. When you go back and look at players,
how is that not giving him credit, though? How is that not giving him credit?
I said the way you said it. And then when I asked you just now who's better, hold on. No. You gotta let me finish because you said it's my turn now. You just said you named somebody and you said Darius Garland. Then I just asked you what he did last season and you said nothing. But
I never said that. No, I did not say that. No, I did not.
He didn't play good last season like he doing now because he got the bigs over there. He got marketing.
But that doesn't mean he didn't do nothing last season.
He didn't play better than RJ. Hold on, he didn't play better than RJ last season.
He didn't play better than RJ. But you
said
so
hold on, let me finish then.
You said nothing.
Hold on. If you know he didn't play better than RJ, then you got to just listen now because you named a player that from last season you say he didn't play better than RJ, but you still gonna name him because right now he's on a come up because he got Jared Allen, he got marketing. Come on, that's not a good one. And another good point is to you is this: you're judging him off of how he's improving and not judging the situations more. In reference to me saying if you run through him makes him learn better as far as development, right? And then he improves at the ball handling, the moves in his bag, the stuff that you want to see. They're not allowing it because look, if you leave me in a corner and you let somebody else, bro, it's true. This is how I feel. Okay, I gave you my other example with Evan Fournier, how he's coming here and that's not a good move. You think that was a good move over your number 3 pick that plays the 2 guard position, averaged 17 points last season, shot 40% from 3? That's how you develop? That's what you telling me? You would have brought him in?
So you telling me that you rather the Knicks have done nothing?
Oh, so that's your excuse. Just
no, I'm asking.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, but you got to answer my question first. I'll answer that next after you answer me.
All right, so what was your question again?
Would you have brought in Fournier and not like a Kelly Oubre or somebody who could have played the 3 and let RJ play his true position for your number 3 pick? And the number 3 pick that you couldn't answer, who else came out after him or in that draft that's doing anything? And Darius Garland is a dub if he ain't do nothing last season. So stop it. Because you riding on Julius Randle last season and you can't go on a player who doing good now that didn't do good last year like that because he didn't have Jared Allen in them. So you never named nobody in my book. You can say whatever you want, but it ain't making sense. No, I'm going to be quiet right now. I digress.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right. First and foremost, what I'm saying is whether you bring Evan Fournier in here or not, RJ Barrett's supposed to be better than what he's been doing. Point blank, plain and simple. That's what I'm saying.
Is that good development?
It don't matter. What do you mean it's a good development?
You didn't even want to answer it at first, and now you come back and say point blank.
You didn't allow me to. You didn't allow me to answer.
I'm not cutting you off, Julio. I'm not cutting you off.
Yeah, but you're not allowing me to answer. What I'm saying is, I'm saying if RJ Barrett had it like that, if he was that dude, it don't matter who you bring in here. He's gonna get his no matter what. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You're gonna get yours no matter what.
I got a good answer for you. Watch this. Ja Morant. We just said this. He averaged around the same thing as RJ did last season. Did they break moves for him? And you got to take in fact that the ball is always in his hand. So you already said, I'm play ball, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer. So this is my knowledge to this part of a player getting better, right? Playing more is with the ball is improving than just being on the floor waiting for somebody to give you the ball. Ja Morant has the ball in his hands, so he's at the point of attack, and he's very good at it, what he does. And I can ask you this as well. You could not tell me when Ja Morant drafted, you called Ja Morant to be Ja Morant because the way he came up and everything, and I followed high school, I follow all of that. You can't tell me you predicted Ja Morant. That's why it's called. That's why it's called the lottery.
No. Okay. So let me tell you how I felt about Ja Morant. When I saw Ja Morant drafted, first of all, I want the Knicks to draft him. I want the Knicks to be in a position to draft him. They obviously weren't.
You don't
right?
like RJ.
No, that has nothing to do with it at all. I don't hate. We need RJ. I don't hate. I'm not an RJ hater. For me to hate RJ Barrett is me hating the team. I don't hate.
Maybe after today, I could probably bring you. I could bring you around.
No. But
because you my guy, we cool. Like I tried to come up here and have fun with you and not argue and make great points and laugh, and we did, and I knew he was, and that's why I love talking to you because it's never personal; it's always love.
You're my dog, but let me just say this. And before we get to the next question, I just want to end it off by saying this: I want the Knicks to draft Ja Morant. I want them to be in that position because when I looked at Ja Morant, I saw an explosive, younger Russell Westbrook. That's what I seen. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about the low IQ Russell Westbrook. I'm talking about that dude that when you give him the ball, he's a showstopper. Right? He's gonna draw attention. He's gonna be a threat, a threat on the floor. That's what I've seen. That's why I want the Knicks to draft him because quite frankly, have never had a player like that. Right? RJ Barrett, to me, I think his ceiling is he has potential to be, on the Jimmy Butler type of scale. But I'm talking about what I see from him right now. I just see someone that is going to be a really, really good role player in this league, a complimentary piece, someone that I think, is going to score some points. Right, he's going to be around for a long time, Iron Man kind of player. That's very important to a championship team. I see that in him, but I just don't see star. And that's always been my thing with RJ because when I'm saying this, and I know you know this, as a baller, it's either you got it or you don't. Right now, RJ Barrett, he has like a little bit of potential. It needs to be refined a little bit. There's some players that come in the league that got it coming into the league. RJ Barrett ain't that. So that's just where I want to come from with that. Let me get to the next question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because we got to, time is running limited.
So you always get me like that, bro. You always get your nice point in and to say it's over.
No, you got it.
I was going to say it's all about development once again. You always got to remember that. And that's what you overlook.
I'm all about development. RJ Barrett's developing.
He could be on a good team and win the team, blah, blah. If you saying that about him, that means that you are critiquing him wrong again because he's too young to say what he could do. Last point is players like Curry and players and he's no Stephen Curry, but look at what they average early in their career in their second year and compare that to where he's headed.
HardWill. It's not about production, bro.
If you develop him right. No, it's about believing in something that you're supposed to grow better. And we can move on because I just wanted to rebuttal what you were saying a little bit. And I had more points, but it's going to take more time. So go ahead. I didn't agree with all of that.
I'm going to start. I got this next question for you, right?
All
and
right.
it's pretty much leading into what we're talking about anyway, right? And the question simply is RJ Barrett going to be that guy? Now, by that guy, that means that star player that's going to be either 1 or 1A on a championship team. Right? Mm-hmm. Is RJ Barrett going to be that guy? I'm started off this time, and then I'll let you retort or whatever. Mm-hmm. For me, that answer is no. I don't see RJ Barrett being that dude. I don't see that star potential in him. Like I said, right? Mm-hmm. He does not have a bag right now. It's something that he definitely needs to work on. Like Steph Curry, you mentioned players like that. Steph Curry was a shooter. He can always go back to that. They always depend on himself being a shooter. Came into the league with that, right? Some of these other players that when they came into the league, Kobe, for example, a lot of RJ fans like to throw that under 21 stat. RJ Barrett is one of 5 players under 21 to do this, and that. Kobe has something he can depend on coming into the league, right? He was very, very dynamic on the floor, defensively and offensively. LeBron James, we ain't even got to talk about that. Luka Doncic. No, these players are just different, generational type players, right? And when you hear RJ Barrett loyalists throw out, well, RJ Barrett is one of 5 players or 6 players under the age of this, and that to do this, and that, it's kind of misleading because RJ Barrett is not that kind of generational player. Those players had a bag coming into the league. RJ Barrett is still developing that. Like you said, and I'm all for developing that. But let's not act like the Knicks are stunting his growth. Since he's came into the league, he's been starting, right? He's been getting major minutes. Right, he was tops in the league in minutes last year. One of the top best, most played people in the league last year, for the most part during the season. Right, so the Knicks are giving him ample opportunity to play. When he has the ball in his hands, we see what he can do, like that potential that's there. But it's just not natural. He needs to grow into that and develop that more. The Knicks, I feel like, are giving him every opportunity to do so. And I disagree with the belief that if you take players away from RJ Barrett, that somehow makes him better and that helps his development. I disagree with that. I think.
What you mean take players away? I didn't hear what you mean. What you mean by that?
Well, you said Evan Fournier we brought in Evan Fournier and it kind of stunted his growth, right? And I disagree with that. I don't believe by having players like that you stunt a young player's growth. Kobe had Shaq for some years. You think that stunted his growth? No, I thought that actually helped him and that made him better. The pressure was off of him, right? That was everyone. Everyone was saying at the beginning of the season, the Knicks brought in Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. Now they can take some pressure off of RJ because he's too young. He's 21 years old. Now all of a sudden, when RJ Barrett's not playing that well, you guys brought him in here to stunt his growth. So which one is it? Right, and that's where I'm coming from with that. I quite frankly don't think RJ Barrett's going to be that guy. I think he's going to be a really good role player. And let's see what he can develop into. But doesn't mean I hate him. I think he's a good player. Doesn't mean I hate him. I think he has a lot of potential. But let's not stop with this. RJ Barrett's going to be this. RJ Barrett's going to be that. Floor is yours.
Okay, well, you only get what you get and what you put in somebody, like, and what you build them up to be. And RJ, to me, you saying Fournier helped his game. Fournier didn't help his game because Julius Randle and Fournier is doing handoffs when RJ could be on the ball making better plays than Fournier can. They brought shooting in just because they wanted to help Julius Randle, and that's a whole nother conversation. I'm going to stick on the RJ point. But you got to remember, right, if you don't put the ball in my hand like how they do Julius, for example, when I brought this up earlier, right? You don't do that as much, then I'm not going to be as good as I would be at it at this point. And that's when I say, like you say, oh, y'all saying play the kids, or I'm saying build him up. Like, I give you another example. How far did you project us to go, like, this season? You don't got to answer that. You could just look at where I'm going with it. How far do you expect us to go this season? So we're going to sacrifice leaving RJ or using him the way we're using him when we trying to build something up the right way, so a couple seasons from now he won't have the same issues when we know we're not going further than some of y'all may think. So that's my problem when I talk about developing. Some players be on the court, but they not being used properly, and they have to follow a system. So you can't just tell them, oh, just do this if they're not running sets for you. When you see sets for RJ, you see something happen. You see him make a play. You agreed earlier that he knows how to make a basketball play. So that means that as a coach, it would make sense to, let him let the ball run through him, because he's not going to always look for his own shot. This changes the morale of a whole team. A team is not just one player. You know what I mean? And we need to come back on and do a Julius Randle one, because you're not consistent with the way you critique him and the way you critique RJ. And like I said earlier, he's a young pup comparing to him. And a lot of your points in reference to just going at him negatively is like, you didn't mention how much he improved on defense. You didn't mention how he improved his three-point shot. You didn't mention these things.
His three-point shot has improved this year?
No. First of all, when he came in the league, he didn't have a three-point shot if you follow his career. And he's always been. And for you, and another good point you just reminded me, we talk about players in high school and all of that. I'm glad you reminded me, because I play ball. I know about the game. You know about the game. I'm older than you, right? Go back to when Curry was drafted. I don't know how old you were. You know what I mean? You're very young. So the point I'm making is, right, you can't say numbers and, oh, you knew Curry was going to be a shooter. I'm talking about building up players as far as example when I mention stuff like that. Look at the Warriors, how they build players up probably. Look at Jordan Poole. He had a horrible season horrible year, right? When they had nobody out there, he played through it. Now look at him now. So I'm blaming more of how they putting RJ in position. It's no cuts for him. It's no plays that where you maximize his talent. Tibbs he's a defensive coach, right? So he want to force you into his offensive scheme because he don't have some to run for OB or RJ. And even this is mainly about RJ is the topic. But RJ will transfer to be that guy, because early on signs show, and me and you can't say he's not this or that. If he's always been on the ESPN top 100 list, he's always been ranked in his peers very highly. He's always played very well in these situations. And he's never had a jump shot. He never was always the great defender. So if you're going to judge him realistically, then he's improved in those fields. And to only judge him after the way you judge him after 3 seasons and the COVID season and everything we going through,
That's why people say
go.
you critiquing him the wrong way. No, don't say here we go, because you'll say, don't say this about Randall. Oh, no. Like,
That's
Randall ain't been in the league long enough for people to judge him in that manner. But the same people will judge RJ, and he's only been in the league. This is his third season, ladies and gentlemen.
What I'm trying to figure out is how come everyone brings up Julius Randle?
My last point.
Okay,
my last point is this. My last point. He always digresses or says something like, he's okay, or I don't think he's that bad, or he reverts to something where he just puts RJ down immediately. He doesn't look at what he brings positively. I told you guys, last time I heard him on MBK, he said right after the game, RJ hit the half-court shot, he was like, oh, I couldn't wait to come on here and dog RJ, but now I can't.
He played like trash. Like, what do you want me to say about the kid? He played like garbage.
He got it. He showed me grit.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just giving you my points. He showed me grit. He showed me he can continue to make a play. And you said in the last 5 minutes of the game, he played good. So how can you say that and then this right here? So that's not garbage. Is that garbage? Hold on.
No. Because now you're twisting it up. I clearly said up until that last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, he played like trash. He got the couple of assists or 3 assists in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game.
But you can't say that together.
Hold on. Tibbs stuck with him, even though he was playing like trash, and kept him in, and he showed that grit to continue to fight on. And Tibbs called his number to hit the shot. So up until that point, he was playing like trash. There's no doubt about it. What else do you want me to say? Like, people want me to mince words when I talk about RJ Barrett. No, you play like crap. And to your Randall point, because for some reason people have this thing where it's RJ Barrett versus Julius Randle. Like, it's a civil war going on. Right? The RJ Barrett is the big hero that's going to come save the Knicks at the end of the day. And Julius Randle, the guy that puts his thumb down, is like the former hero turned villain. And now it's a civil war going on. I swear, that's what happens with Knicks fans and this whole Julius Randle versus RJ Barrett thing. Anytime Randle has a bad game and RJ has a pretty good game, this is RJ's team. RJ's going to take over this team. He's the real leader of this team. Right? And then anytime Randle has a good game and RJ doesn't, it's like, well, the Knicks are not putting RJ in the proper position to succeed. But no one says that when RJ Barrett has a 30-point game. He has a 30-point game last season when he improved his shooting. No one says that. No one says the Knicks used him improperly. Why? Because he had a good season, or he had a really decent season. I didn't create no Civil War narrative like my man Chevion Productions created. I never created this. I don't bring up RJ versus Randle.
So listen.
Bring it up. People talk that. I never bring that up.
Uncle Fulio, if we both agreed that we're gonna be Knicks fans if both of them was gone, then why we don't just assess it like it really is? That's my point, because I critique RJ and Randle. No, hear me out. I critique RJ and Julius the same. I do. But I also know the game to a point where if you can't critique a player the same way you do with a player that has the ball in their hands. And that's why I mentioned Ja Morant and different examples.
RJ Barrett has the ball in his hands. That's the part you're not understanding. He may not have it as much as Randle. He might hold on. No, but that's where we disagree. He doesn't have the ball as much as Randle. Randle has almost 27% usage rate. But RJ Barrett has a 24% usage rate. So let's stop with, they don't give RJ Barrett the ball. They give him the ball. When he got the ball in his hands, he's not doing anything with it. That's the problem.
I mean, okay, I got a great example for you too, right? If we're not an NBA coach, I'm not an NBA coach, right? And I say things like, if he go to the line or he make a play for somebody, next thing you know, he's making more plays or shots, etc. Right? If I can see that, and I'm sure you see that, bro, keep it real. Like, why they don't do certain things? I'm not talking about how much he gets the ball. It's a difference how you get the ball and where you get the ball. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Does that matter?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's a lot. That's where my point lies at. Just to help you understand where I'm coming from, because you're not addressing none of those issues, bro. All of that matters. If you play ball, I play ball. Hold on, I play ball, so I know if you don't give me the ball in my shooter's pocket on time, and you know you want me to stay in the corner or whatever, then I have a problem with that. If you're not running no plays that maximizes my talent, I have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Now, I already told you that RJ Barrett has had the ball in his hand more than Julius Randle in his career. Tibbs and Randle with this point forward thing is like a project. That's something that they made up. I never seen it. I don't think it works. He gets ripped all the time. He turns his head on the double team, etc. If RJ Barrett had the ball and we're growing our young pup at the same time, he's going to make the basketball play and get himself involved because he's a threat going. Now he's going with both hands. Even if you see him go once or twice with his right hand, he's only in his third year. It's something he's doing. You got to give him credit for that too. So I sat here and named a bunch of things that you didn't name about him using his right hand, him playing great defense on All-Stars. This is his first year doing that.
Great defense. Great defense. You see? You see how you see that hyperbole? Great defense.
Listen
really?
to me. All right,
really?
all right. After the last game, you said Tatum lit him up when Tatum had a great second half. You're not calling it like it really is, and that's just the bottom line. We don't got mad time. We need to do this again. I ain't got to go nowhere because we can do this for an hour and a half, bro. Trust me. And I feel like let the fans say who won too, because bro, you ain't have good points. I got you.
This is the last thing I'll say. And this is what I've been trying to say about RJ Barrett the whole time. You saying that RJ Barrett needs to get the ball in his pocket. We need to cater him.
No,
no. Let me go now. We need to cater him. We need to play him like a nice little violin, right? We need to baby him. We need to give the ball in his spots. He needs to get it here. He needs to get it there instead of doing this, and that. What Danny Melinda said is perfectly how I feel about RJ Barrett. When you that dude, you gonna get yours. Nothing, and you play ball, bro. So you know. But
you didn't pin no comments that nobody said that agree with me. You did not pin one comment. I'm sure somebody agree with me. I'm sure somebody
agree with me. New Yorker said I'm an RJ hater.
So don't do that to me. You don't act like you're gonna pin all these comments and nobody agree. That's the first one you pin. So let's keep it real, Josh. It's real political, but your show is fire. So I don't mind. We just gonna call it for what we see it, bro. And you got some great points. I had some great points. You agreed to me just now that it is true. It matters if you put me in position to score. Once you agree with that, I got you, because you're not taking that in and factoring it in when you critique the man. Even the guy who just pinned you commented up there, right, bro? If you know if RJ on Charlotte, what are we getting? Are we getting a better product? RJ on different teams who run their system better. Who's building them up? I give you another great example. Tibbs yelling at players and doing it. That's outdated, bro. You see, we dealing with millennials now. These kids are internet kids. You can't just coach an old-fashioned style expecting it to translate to these guys. RJ don't even really like that because he looks like someone do for me what you could do for me now type of person. And you yelling and going crazy when these kids can't accept the same type of coaching that I could accept growing up or that other players. And it's not an excuse. I'm trying to look at the realities of what these kids are dealing with. And granted, even Randall, like how they treating him, his family and stuff like that, I do not agree with that. I just want to say that, I appreciate that he wrote the letter so that can cease. And I know that wasn't one of the questions because we got to come back on and have Randall fans versus RJ, because that's what it really is, and we need to try to cease it.
Randall
me
versus
and you,
RJ.
No. I'm telling you, fans. I'm not saying me. I'm saying what I think is going on. So me and you could probably put it to rest, because me and you came up here and had fun and laughed about it. You gonna believe what you feel. I'm gonna believe what I feel, and that's cool. If it works out in your way or my way, then we could talk about it again later. That's all. I know he's going to be somebody that you don't see, though. Trust me. And the ball guards answered your question because you was like, he made that? Oh, no. Oh,
I'm just glad we won. I'm glad. No, I never said that. I'm glad we won the game.
Down that way.
No, absolutely not.
You said you had to throw away all them takes about him having a bad game because of
the timing. Because I'm not going to sit there and ruin a moment like that. We just won a really big game. I thought. I know I'm not a hater.
You're a true Knicks fan. You're a true Knicks
always
fan.
Through and through since I was 4 years old, right?
Yeah.
I was never gonna hate on RJ after a big shot like that, and we won the game. And on top of that, that was a huge victory. Then being down 25, just the energy. I would never do something like that. So for everyone saying that, I'm so mad that RJ made the shot, that's not true. And kick rocks. But HardWill, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on, my brother. I've been trying to do this for a while. We definitely got to do this again because there was some fireworks in there. I'm definitely going to promote your show once again. For the love of the game, make sure you go check those guys out on YouTube. My man HardWill, my man Worldwide L, Project Nerd HQ. There's a link in the description of this video. HardWill, let the people know where they can find you on social media. If you want, you can let them know.
Yeah, HardWill Basketball Training is my one of my pages. If you get to that page, then you'll see my other page at Jihad on YouTube, HardWill, or go to For the Love of the Game. You see me there. Shout out the Belong Sears family. You can see me there on Morning Drive with Uncle Freezy and all the other guys that be on the panel. So I just want to say thanks, MBK, UnclefOOlio, for having me. Really, UnclefOOlio, because he makes this choice for his show. I heard him say that before. So I just want to shout out UnclefOOlio and the whole family, though, at MBK. Dope movement. It's just a pleasure to come on here and kick some knowledge. And hopefully we can do it again, bro. Word up.
Of course.
And let's go Knicks tonight. We need this win tonight.
Let's go Knicks.
Let's get this win, baby.
We're gonna sweep this home at home tonight, or hopefully RJ Barrett hits another game winning shot for us. Evan Fournier continues to heat up. Julius Randle continues to get to the paint and score inside. We definitely need him to do that. So I'm looking forward to that. HardWill, once again, thank you for coming on, my brother. Make sure for everyone out there watching, we got a pregame show probably around 3 o'clock, 3:30. Simba's gonna get on there. I'm gonna be at the gym, getting my weight in, getting my work up. You know what I'm saying?
We going on tonight too. We going on after the game. So come on through for the love of the game later on after the game if y'all want to hear some dope content. And we have a panel where you could join. As long as you ain't a troll, you're welcome. Hopefully we see you there too, bro, so we can finish some more talking. All right.
I got to get my work in the gym first. After I can put some work on you, I got to, get my work in. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to go coach right now. My team got a game right now, my 8th grade team. So I'm about to go coach a game in Charger Nation. So I see you later, bro. Have a great day, man. It's a pleasure.
Have a great day.
All right, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
You already know.
Everyone out there watching, thank you. Make sure you go check out For the Love of the Game, my man HardWill, Worldwide, L, and those guys. They are so dope, ladies and gentlemen. Link in the description of this video. Make sure you tune in later on today for the Love of the Game. They're coming on tonight after the game. Also, pregame, postgame coverage on MBK. Make sure you check us out there. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. It's Josh.
Shout out Sim, too.
Shout out to Sim. Shout out to everyone out there in Knicks Nation, MBK family. You know how we doing it. Put your comments in the comment section below, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm gone, ladies and gentlemen. Peace out.